The destruction of Rome has been announced from the throne of heaven. Now comes the time for celebration. And it begins, appropriately enough, with the angels echoing God's voice and amplifying the announcement of Rome's demise. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Saturday, November 20th, 2021. The announcement of the angels does not mention Rome by name, though John's readers well understood what he was saying. Instead of Rome, the angel speaks of Babylon. But as we've already seen, John uses Babylon and Egypt as stand-ins for Rome because of the close parallels he wants to draw between what God has done in the past and what God is doing now, as well as a way to protect his audience from undue suspicion from Roman authorities who would no doubt be none too pleased to read such derisive comments about Rome. John announces what he hears from two angels who come from the heavenly court. Here's what he says. After this, I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was made bright with his splendor. He called out with a mighty voice, "Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. It has become a dwelling place of demons, a haunt of every foul spirit, a haunt of every foul bird, a haunt of every foul and hateful beast. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth have grown rich from the power of her luxury." Then I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, so that you do not take part in her sins, and so that you do not share in her plagues. For her sins are heaped high as heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Render to her as she herself has rendered, and repay her double for all her deeds. Mix a double draught for her in the cup she has mixed. As she glorified herself and lived luxuriously, so give her a like measure of torment and grief. Since in her heart she says, 'I rule as queen, I am no widow, and I will never see grief,' therefore her plagues will come in a single day, pestilence and mourning and famine, and she will be burned with fire, for mighty is the Lord God who judges her." It doesn't get any more plain than that. The demise of Rome is at hand. This is bold language to say about an empire that was at the very height of its power and prestige, though. Frankly, anyone outside the Christian community would have laughed uproariously at the audacity of John's words. But for those within the Christian community, his words provided a sense of profound hope and reassurance. The language John uses borrows freely from a wide variety of sources in the Old Testament. Sometimes it is taunting language that other nations had used to mock Israel when they had defeated her. Other times, it is language that was used about the defeat of other nations. And still other language, notably the remark about repaying Rome double for her sins, echoes Isaiah 40, where the prophet says, "Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and cry to her that she has served her term, that her penalty is paid, that she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins." And why is Rome being brought low? 4 words: idolatry, blasphemy, violence, and wealth. Idolatry in the form of worshiping false gods. Blasphemy in the form of requiring praise and devotion from her citizens, praise that belongs to God alone. Violence in the form of the persecution of both Jews and Christians. Wealth in the sense of an increasing concentration of wealth among the powerful at a time when ordinary people had an increasingly difficult time making ends meet. For these sins, Rome was being judged. And what John shows his audience is a peek into God's plans and purposes, which include the future punishment against Rome. It is, for the Christian community, a source of rejoicing. God's justice will be done. When we return on Monday, we'll see that not everyone shares in celebrating Rome's coming demise. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.